Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and we're back doing this. It's been 4 months since I've made a basketball related video, and it's been over a year since I've made a video about rankings. See, now this video is supposed to be me ranking my top 5 or top 10 point guards of all time, okay? My last ranking video was back in March of 2024. Now we're in July of 2025. That is just, right? Yeah. We're in July of 2020. I don't know why it took me a second to double check that. But we're going to do this a little differently this time. And we're going to look at a top list. I have a ranker list of the top 145 point guards of all time. Now, if you don't know how ranker works, you can, the players pop up and you just like press the up or down arrow based on where you think they are in the rankings. My vote probably won't do anything for most of these, but I already looked at some of this, and this list is bad and confusing. I'm assuming you can just add players to your want, but we're gonna go over how I think about it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Back with the basketball content, but we're not done reacting. Reacting is gonna be a big part of the channel, probably the main part of the channel, unlike it used to be. But let's get into it. Point guards, but the NBA's top 45 greatest point guards of all time. Now, see, we're not going to look through all 145, but this is more of a statement. I'm getting a whole lot of ads too, and I can't do nothing about it. I'm not paying for an ad blocker or nothing. So, number one is Magic Johnson. I agree with this, okay? And I'll say if I disagree or agree. I completely agree. Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time. Curry is top 10 all time for me in general. Magic's top 5. Top 4, realistically. Magic, he deserves that. And that would obviously mean that I believe that Steph Curry deserves number 2. I am not one of the people who believes Curry is the greatest point guard of all time. I believe his talent is amazing, but Magic Johnson is just, his resume speaks for himself, and so does Curry's, but I still have Magic go for Curry. Number 3 is Allen Iverson. See, this is where the confusion starts to hit. Allen Iverson is not a point guard. I understand that he's 6 foot and all that, but he was a shooting guard. He did not play point guard. I understand he played point guard sometimes, but he's listed as a shooting guard. He mainly played shooting guard. That was his role. He's not a point guard, and he's definitely wouldn't be number 3 if he was. Number 4 is Oscar Robertson. Now, Oscar Robertson is my top 3. Okay, let me not spoil my list too much, or it's not gonna be a point in making that video. I do believe Oscar should be higher because I think Allen Iverson should not be here. How about that? Isaiah Thomas is definitely in this range. Zeke is a 2-time champion, 1-time Finals MVP, 12 times All-Star, leader of those bad boy Pistons, and he definitely deserves this ranking of players. Jerry West. Now, Jerry West, the logo, of course, is one of those confusing players to rank all the time because I don't know to rank him as a point guard or a shooting guard. He's always been an anomaly when it comes to my rankings, but Jerry West is easily a top 20, top 15 player all time, probably. He's the only player in NBA history to win Finals MVP without actually being the winner of the Finals. Jerry West is a phenomenal player, and this is probably where he would be ranked relatively. I just never know where to rank him as a point guard or a shooting guard, so I usually avoid the Jerry West conversations. John Stockton, number 7. Now, see, this is where things back and forth. John Stockton, number 7, actually probably is a great spot for him, maybe a little higher. But John Stockton, he was a star, of course. Most assists and steals of all time. But it's come out that stats have been padded. You know, he's also passing to Karl Malone, the bad man. The very bad man. But John Stockton at 7 is not crazy. He still has all the stats to show it. Never had a ring. And he just wasn't the scorer. So I don't know. Kyrie, number 8. Now, normally, Kyrie number 8 wouldn't be a problem for me. But there is somebody on this list. There's 2 people on this list that I'm mainly thinking of that would be above Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie has a skill and all that. But he doesn't have the accolades as as one of the other players and the overall impact of the game. Not impact of the game, but just impact for their team, a winner. There's 2 players you're probably thinking of who I believe are over him. And one of the players is here, Chris Paul, the point God. They spell God, but it's God. The ultimate floor general, crazy basketball IQ. Probably wasn't for LeBron James, would be the highest IQ of all time. That or Rajon Rondo, my favorite player of all time. The same person. Chris Paul has become very kind of underrated with the new generation of basketball fans. With ring culture being a main thing for their arguments. Chris Paul is a phenomenal player. Is he 40? I don't think he's 40 already. Is Chris Paul? Whoa. Chris Paul is... Oh. He is 40. I didn't realize he turned 40 already. That makes sense, though. Chris Paul, number 9. I have him higher, by the way, and definitely not below Kyrie Stockton. Definitely not below Kyrie. Steve Nash, number 10. Makes sense. Steve, this is a... I don't know my list just yet. I'll make it, but 10 seems like a good spot for Steve Nash. 2-time MVP, regardless of not whether he deserves the MVPs at the time. Whatever, he has 2 MVPs. Ringless. Did not win a ring. Yeah, he was not on that Mavericks team. But an amazing player, repping Canada. Yeah, number 10 is not that bad of a spot. Westbrook not being a top 10 point guard is insane. By the way, Dirk is the better teammate for Steve Nash. He did better with him. But Shaq's a better player than Dirk and Kobe, but we're not going to get in the argument on that side. Okay. Westbrook, number 11. The triple-double guy. That sounds like I'm slandering. I'm not. He deserves to be way higher than this. I actually just saw a video on Instagram Reels about Westbrook, and it brought way more light to me. I've always loved Westbrook, but when it comes to his all-time status, Kevin Durant got injured, and Westbrook stepped up in his scoring completely, and still was able to average 8 assists a game. Might have led the league in scoring in that year. I don't know. Then Kevin Durant came back, and he put his scoring down, but he went up to average like 10 assists. Kevin Durant left, and then Westbrook jumped up to lead the league in scoring. And then Paul George came in. Westbrook also took a step back, and then led the league in in assists per game. And then, after that, Paul George was top 3 in MVP rankings because of Westbrook. I forgot who I saw that from, but if you guys have seen the video, you definitely seen the video over this one. But Westbrook deserves to be way higher. Much love for Westbrook at the Brody. Jason Kidd, number 12. Now, realistically, number 12 is probably too low for Jason Kidd. An amazing player. A big guard who can get those rebounds, play pretty good defense, and manage a court on offense. A really good player. Number 12 seems low, but again, we've seen so many stars above. It's just that Allen Iverson's not a point guard. Gary Payton, number 13. It seems like a good spot for him. One of the best defensive point guards of all time, maybe the best defensive guard of all time. The glove. One of the only point guards and guards in general to win a Defensive Player of the Year. Adding this guy to the list a couple years ago. You know, my favorite player in the league right now. Gary Payton, great. 13 is probably about right. I know coming up, some crazy shit is coming up, but let's keep moving. Pistol Pete Maravich at number 14. I think he's a shooting guard. That's all I have to say. He's not a point guard. But great what if. Amazing college player. Has all the stats to back it up. And one of the greatest college players, actually. Maybe the greatest, but who knows? Who knows? Whatever. But interpretive. But he's a shooting guard. Yeah, I guess you could classify him as a point guard, but he's not. Bob Cousy, number 15. Number 15 seems about right. Maybe a little too low. But he was from that early era of guards. And I don't rank the early era a lot higher. Wilt and Bill, for example, are outside my top 10 all time because of the fact of the era. I've seen videos of those boys shooting one-leg free throws and no-hitting rim, throwing their body for a jump shot to smack backboard. It wasn't it. But Bob Cousy was one of those outliers who was a great player for his time. Bob Cousy getting smoked by number 8 Kyrie on this list. Number 16 is Walt Frazier Clyde. You know, this is probably too low. My roommate, Michael, if you're watching this, you would definitely agree. Walt Frazier is the Knicks' greatest point guard of all time, maybe the greatest point player in the Knicks history. Patrick Ewing is my pick probably, and Jalen Brunson might get up there. Who knows? But Walt Frazier, 16 sounds about right, but I think it's a little too low, being the playmaker and defender he was. Dame at 17. Now a lot of the new age players fans are either going to say this is really low or really high for him because about his ring. Most loyal player all the time, by the way, in my opinion. He never wanted to leave the Blazers, and now he's back there just to rehab. He can't even play this year. He knows they're not going to win a ring either. But Dame's shooting's amazing, all of that. 17 seems low, but again, I'll have to make my own list. Number 18 is Penny Hardaway. Now, see, I don't know if you guys can see on the frame, but I think you can. The next name deserves to be above Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway was a huge what if. A 6'7" point guard of amazing IQ. He's a huge what if. But he's not better than Tony Parker. Tony Parker's a finals MVP. A multiple-time champion on one of the best dynasties of all time. The Spurs have the best win percentage of all time. I don't know if that changed from this last season, but I don't think it has. And Tony Parker is one of those reasons. Tony Parker is definitely better than Penny Hardaway all time. Number 20 is Tim Hardaway. I don't know how I feel about this. Now I'm going to keep going. Usually 20 would be a decent spot to stop, but there's somebody on this list who does not deserve to be on here at all. So let's keep going. 21, Chauncey Billups. Okay, I'm not going to argue Chauncey Billups, Finals MVP, Celtics legend, Pistons legend, of course, Nuggets legend. But let's keep going. Everyone in my top rankings have been set already, but there's somebody on here who's not. Derrick Rose, much respect, MVP. Nate Archibald, much respect, Kings and Celtics legend. Led the league and assist and points per game, and he was the first person to do it, I think. There it is, number 24, Kobe Bryant. I didn't even realize the next name. Kobe Bryant, number 24. First off, Kobe is not a point guard, and these ads are annoying, I understand. Kobe is not a point guard, and if he was a point guard, he would not be number 24. I guess that was poetic because of his jersey number, but I don't think Kobe's number 24 on any list he's on all time. Kobe Bryant's not a point guard. He's a purebred shooting guard. Never was a point guard of anything. If he was anything else but a shooting guard, he was a small forward. But he was always a point guard. He had Derek Fisher next to him, Smush Parker. I'm naming point guards, whatever. Jeremy Lin, D'Lo. Did he play with Knicks Van Exel, or is that too far back? Either way, Kobe was never the point guard. And why is James Harden not here? Now, James Harden could be listed as a point guard because he's played one guard for multiple seasons. He's an elite passer, elite scorer, one of the best scorers of all time. But he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. He had Chris Paul by his side. He's had Kyrie by his side. Now, they were back and forth on who was the point guard. Same with when he was with Tyrese Maxey. But James Harden all the time is a shooting guard. He had a Westbrook early on, too. He's not the point guard. But if he was a point guard, and for the years he is point guard, he's definitely not 25. He's way higher on this list. James Harden is, in my opinion, higher up than Allen Iverson, and they're both shooting guards. And Allen Iverson was number 3 on this list. So Shea's already up here at 26. It's probably not even that bad of an MVP. But scrolling through, you guys see any names that you very much disagree with for being on these rankings. First off, I definitely do. Rondo is higher than Jason Williams, Kemba Walker, Muggsy Bogues, Maurice Cheeks, Baron Davis, Kevin Johnson. I don't know about Dennis Johnson, but it's flip-flop. Better than Earl Monroe, in my opinion. You could argue Mark Price. John Wall had a short career. His great career, but injuries killed him. So Rondo is definitely higher on this list. Matter of fact, it could be personal. It's not personal bias. It's just facts. I have to raise Rondo up. He's higher than that. But a lot of great names on this list here. A lot of young names on this list too. Jamal Crawford is a shooting guard, but Spud Webb is not this high on the list. Joe Dumars is a shooting guard. But this list, as you can see, is just not a good list at all. Derek Fisher is a top 60 point guard of all time, which just just probably isn't even true. Darren Williams is below him, so exactly. This list is just flat out horrible. But that is the video for you guys. I don't want to take up too much time wasting it. You guys probably already left, but you guys have not. Thank you again. If you have not already, like, comment, and subscribe. The comment's not as important, but I do see every single comment, especially since I'm a small channel, so there's no way I'm going to miss a comment. But like I said, like and subscribe. It's truly appreciated. More videos coming away, basketball reactions, all of that. Probably won't be reacting to another list. More of making my own. Next video will probably either be a reaction or finally ranking my point guards all time, whether it's top 5 or top 10. But comment down below any video you want me to react to or whatever. And if not, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.